1, 2, 3, 4.
So, Victor, you have learned to be patient, and it shows actually even in your
Yes,
character.
sir.
Maybe previously you were not.
Actually, let me talk about that.
Yes.
Of the many big guys,
Yes.
a big guy in Nairobi, the many big guys I have gone to their meeting.
Yes.
Victor was waiting for us for 5 minutes
Yes.
in a call.
Yes.
Because we lost track of time. We were with this chief.
Yes.
We lost
Yeah, in
track
another
of,
meeting.
We lost track of time.
You'll pay fine.
And then we just met Victor there smiling.
Hey.
A bit,
If it was another, see,
Kata simu,
talk to my assistant to book another appointment.
But I'm not a government person, so I joined government in January. So
Yes.
I have been in private sector.
Don't learn those practices. They're not the best of them.
I mean, so I was in private practice for over 10 years.
But it's like a calling in your family because
Yeah.
you said your mom was a government. We need to get there, Kaka.
Let me tell you, my mom,
That's very
actually, there's an interesting story. My mom, when I
Yes.
joined county,
Yes.
is when she declared that I had work. Anything be outside
Hustling.
of government.
You are
she was
just
like,
hustling.
you are struggling. We've been praying for you for 10 years.
Are you serious?
So now you have work. You have a job. Now you can start a meeting.
Are you serious?
So that you can be able to tell other
So
peers.
was she working in Nairobi? You know, government, you can go so many places.
Yeah, no, she, of course, as a driver, you go so many places.
Yes.
But of course, she was based in Nairobi.
Okay.
And of course, she's together with my dad. They've
Yes.
been able to support.
How many years, man, in government? These people, they can.
No, this I can't even remember. I mean, since
Are you serious?
you are born, a guy is in
He's
Gava.
always been in
They
Gava.
retire in Gava. So I mean,
That's amazing.
But I mean, it's their calling. It's
Yeah.
something that they
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
It was their time. But
Yeah.
I mean, things. Everyone has their calling.
Yes.
So even for,
So you don't see Gen Z staying in government for 37 years.
Bye bye give.
Your vibe.
I
actually.
give.
even 5 years nowadays, I think it's just a generational thing.
Yeah.
A switch in society in terms of preference, what we consume. So I mean, and even if you look at even products, the
Yes.
product life cycle for a lot of products has gone
very
down.
short.
I mean, if you have a phone for more than 2 years, guys are like, you need to be serious.
Yes,
If you hold on to a car for more than 5
Yeah.
years, I mean, you need to be serious.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Very
I think
interesting.
it's a shift generally
In the mentality and the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the industry is actually adopting, just to say the least. But I know you have been in the government for the shortest time, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing is that you have seen the both world. Your parents were in the government. Of course, when they're discussing what is not working, you are there, right?
Yes.
You're not part of the
Yes.
government, but you are listening to the frustrations. And now you have joined the government, and I see, and this, you're getting somewhere. So do you think the government can really work and what would make the government work?
Yeah. Before you answer, I have something I have to say.
Please.
I went to town. And it was late. Okay, me, I go to town. Kaka, anyone who knows me, I go to town a lot. See why he's laughing. I found they're sweeping. And it's clean.
Yes.
That was amazing. And then I went downtown. There's this roundabout, I don't know, near that Ngong Matatu Zuko Chini.
Yeah, and
The
railway station.
roundabout, Haile Selassie. That place is... So for a minute, I said, hey, these people, they are
they're
delivering.
working.
But in your own words,
the governor is
according to-
serious. The county governor of Nairobi,
Yes.
Excellency, the governor.
And he's a young guy, though.
Yes.
He's young.
Yeah.
I mean, so things can work if you make, things don't just happen. You have to make them happen. So I believe government can work.
Yes.
And a government or any other organization is as good as the people that work for the government.
Yeah.
So we've seen, not only in Kenya, but in many other countries, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, government is big. There are very many different
Takes long.
elements in terms of people, different characters. Of course, ingraining, the cultural challenges that we face as a country around not racism, but
Tribalism.
Nepotism.
Yeah, so there are a lot of variables within government, but usually you find that there are very good elements for people in government who want to make things work.
Yes.
So sometimes it doesn't work 100%.
Yeah.
But I always say, like within my space or the space that I'm running or the department that I'm running, I would want to run it excellently.
So would you say that each department, if they had some form of local leadership, per se, right? Where they deliver at that particular stage. If it's the sweepers, if it's the people who do repair, if it's the firefighters, if it's the admin, the people who collect the tax, the people who deliver the licenses, if each department actually delivered, the whole government could deliver.
Exactly.
And that actually piggybacks, because if Nairobi works, the government actually would work. This is the center of all the...
There's a lot,
as much as you have devolution and you have the counties, things are yet to move to other counties as they are in Nairobi, right?
Yeah.
So it's also offering leadership to other counties.
And you've seen with I can speak for Nairobi County, you can see, all the way from the governor to the executive team, to the chief officers who are there. If you look at the profile, if you look at the people, and even within the first, first year, we can see tangible results in a lot of these sectors. If you look at health, turnkey programs such as dishing a county, looking at ICU, first ICU beds that have been put. If you look at stadiums in Dandora being launched, if you look at roads. I mean, looking at the startup ecosystem, the first county government, almost even in the entire of Africa, that has a specific sector focused on startups and innovation. People have ICT, but I mean, this is the first government in Africa that has decided that, you know what, we are going to support the tech ecosystem.
Yes.
So it tells
intentionally.
you that, intentionally. So it tells you that, I mean, there's will and there's ability and there's leadership that is out there. Maybe it's just a question of maybe lack of opportunity. So different people, some people get opportunities, Victor being one of them. Of course, there are 50 million
Victors out here.
In the country. But maybe by God's grace, Victor got the opportunity and, to be able to lead a certain sector. And I mean, it's just for you to do your best and do the very, very best that you can do within the short period of time that you get the opportunity on.
Before we delve more into what you do, Victor, how was that transition for you from, I call private sector pirates, the guys who refuse to join the army, right? And they feel like we can do more than just join the army. How was that transition for you, and what actually,
adding the bureaucracy to
so
life?
I mean, so we had a conversation with the governor when then he was senator, and as our journey started almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
So when he was senator and he was pursuing the journey of being able to support the startup ecosystem. So that's where we met, for the first time. And I volunteered to be able to lead that task force to write that particular bill. So of course we had quite a number of...
And that's where you guys talked to Africa's Talking, actually, right?
Yes.
And we met, I think they met Bilha that time.
So we met Bilha, we had with Peter Njonjo, we had Mesh.
Trigger and Market Force.
Yes. So we were having that conversation. So... and I remember at some point, we were sitting at KICC and I was talking to the chief of staff, Devi. And he was like, boss, we are going to form the next county government. So, we are joking and I'm like, it is not in my plans completely. But given that I was in the policy space and I continue to play in the policy space, the question that he posed to me last year. So even as far as October, September, I was planning my own my own biasharas. So he was like, you always talk about policy change and you're debating CSS, you're debating PSS, you're debating anyone that needs to be debated, you're debating. And you're giving all these ideas. I'm giving you the opportunity to come implement.
Be in the center space of this policy.
Come implement. I mean, you can talk, but it's one thing to talk, it's another to implement. So if it is impact that you are looking for, if you want to make the change, why can't you be the change that you always talk about? So there is a lot of things that is happening in government. I mean, you can talk about corruption, you can talk about nepotism. Whatever is happening, your focus is to do the thing that brought you here. So as long as you are doing that, you should be good. So that was the rallying call that, I said, if I don't do it, then who's going to do it?
True.
Because you'll sit there and complain. I gave you the opportunity. You said no, now someone is doing it and maybe it's not doing a good job. Then you're just making and heckling on TV. So I mean, for me, that was the turning point. But in whatever projects or even most projects that I do, they have to have impact. I was we were having lunch, Graham, and I was like, we can talk about blockchain, AI, whatever technology that you want to talk about. But if they don't have real actual impact in terms of incomes and changing people's lives, then we are making noise. Can talk about ChatGPT, what.
Yeah.
I mean, M-Pesa is a simple technology that we don't care whether it's AI. All I know, it's enabling me to do business. It's enabling me to send money to my parents at home. That's all I care for.
It has to be that simple.
It has to be that simple. So, I mean, that for me is what I'm looking out at. In terms of, can we be able to harness technology and the different stakeholders that are there to support our people?
Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes. So now you join government.
Yeah.
You know, all these, the rubber meets the road. So what happens? And by the way, an ignorant question.
Yeah.
I've not joined the army yet, the army yet, right? So you join as a chief, right? There are people who walk through the ladder until they become chiefs.
Inside
But
the government.
how is that? Do you go to a room full of committee members or the chief himself, Bwana Sakaja, or the governor in place? How does that actually work? Or you just given a call, chief, report to work tomorrow. We have been talking too much about these things. I know what you're capable of. Please come and implement this.
No,
Here is
I
a team.
think one thing you'll be surprised is whenever there is the word bureaucracy, bureaucracy is applied in government proper. I mean, so there is an entire process in terms of recruitment. There's a public service board. There's the county assembly. So I mean, so the governor would, or even the president would give a list of people that he would want to work with. And then they are committed to a process, either through county assembly or national assembly. They have to be vetted through maybe the county public service board. So 2-3 levels of interviews. You have to go to committed to a certain committee within either national assembly or county assembly, depending with the sector. So outside of, of course, we have 85 wards. We have over 100 MCAs. All of them go into different sectors. So under ICT, you have to be vetted by that particular sector.
A committee.
So they have to sit down, understand what is it who is this person that has been proposed. So once you go through that process, then you get hired. So it's not a simple thing of boss, come report to work tomorrow. I mean, that's not how.
So you have to go through the due process.
It has to go through due diligence, due process. You go to get your certificate of clear of
good conduct.
Good
And the
conduct.
DCI office.
Hey, when you're
Kiambu Road.
Kiambu Road.
Yes, ESCC over here.
You have to go through
Integrity
ESCC,
House.
You have to get your CRB. I mean,
Oh wow.
just
Even CRB. If you owe Tala or
Or Elb is the key. Elb is the key.
I mean, so it's just due process so that we know the kind of character that this person is. So sometimes these processes work, sometimes they don't. But I mean, that's the process we went through. So I mean, it's something. I mean that sieves. And you know, they can be able to vet and see this person is actually competent to be able to run this docket.
Now you report to the office first day. Was it a shocker? Was it an excitement? Was it a confusion?
So initially there were no offices.
Okay.
So you
For your
report.
department.
You report. You report.
To a kiwanja somewhere. Where did you guys meet?
I mean, so because of the reorganization through the executive order, you can see even from the county perspective.
Oh yeah, we were moving. Wait, you know, some people have forgotten. We were moving from Nairobi Metropolitan at that time.
Yes,
We'll
NMS.
give that context.
So now NMS, of course, you knew NMS through the previous regime.
That is the army now, the real army.
The real army. So I mean, it was just a question of functions that had been transferred for them to execute, maybe because of inefficiency or lack of capacity within
Of the previous city county.
So I mean, so that process had to be reverted back to the county government of Nairobi. So I mean, even for the sector, because we are the governor was rearranging the ICT sector.
Okay.
So for you to rearrange that, there was only one chief officer and one director. So now we have we have 3 chief officers who are reporting. So myself, Digital Economy and Startups, we have Smart Nairobi as well as we have ICT. So of course it means that 2 of you will not have offices.
Because there's only one.
There's only one. So I mean, it was just going through the motions and just seeing general inefficiencies, transition, teething challenges, etc.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are the experiences from Nyangori that come to play,
Interesting.
where you just take life simply. I mean, I don't need a red carpet and a huge thermos with I don't know which.
Child lazima. Government
Mimi
office
si Mluya.
can affect the morale. Lack of tea.
It's more of a red carpet than a tea
Lack
guy.
of tea, there's also volleyball in the office.
So I don't really look at processes
Yes.
and parks.
Yes.
I remember, you're coming from private sector, you made your money. I mean, it's not like pesa unakuja kukutana na hapa for the first time. So I mean, you have your private offices, you know how things work. So I didn't expect much. So, but for me, what brought me is a legacy, impact, and just getting things done. So if you have a table, you don't have a table. Just go work at Java, come at Nairobi Garage.
Yeah.
I mean, the ecosystem is big. I work at iHub. I work at IBs. I enter into any space and I can be able to sit and work.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just focusing on the outcome, on impact. Otherwise, usually if you focus on what is not being done for you, you become an underperformer. You become embroiled in a lot of politics. I mean, it doesn't help anyone. Governor anatuambianga kama unataka starehe enda kule starehe kwa nyumba yako.
Yes.
Hapa tumekuja job.
Yes.
Hapa tumekuja job.
Actually, I need to ask a question.
Yes.
In your first day, you had already looked at the problems. Can you talk about the problems that you had already researched about startups, what startups were going through?
Yeah. Yes.
And I mean, so you have this context, and then now
And where the tech ecosystem was.
So one of the things that you will notice, and it's a miracle, most people don't realize, is I joined government in January. By February, we had the full CIDP for the sector.
What is CIDP?
CIDP is the strategic plan for the county.
Okay.
County Integrated Development Plan.
All right.
So if you've gone to some of the sessions that I've done presentations,
Yes.
you see that we have a CIDP or strategic plan that we've shared severally with a lot, or if most of the ecosystem. And
Is
we've
it
not.
online? Is this a PDF someone can download?
Yeah, you can. You can just Google CIDP Nairobi County.
Nairobi
You can be
County.
able to get.
Yeah.
So if you look at CIDP, it's a melting point of 10 years of conversation.
Interesting.
So I mean, the same conversations we have in the tech ecosystem.
Yes.
This is not working. We have capacity challenges. We have issues with this and that. So immediately I landed. The first thing that I sat and just wrote was the CIDP.
Okay.
Having written that, immediately, I mean, just called folks at, I think Kayana. We met at Kayana Create.
Yes. Okay.
In Kimathi, and I was like, calling guys from the ecosystem, Ben Roberts, who is who. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? And the guys were like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been trying to implement.
So, Victor, do you have like 5 key highlights of that CIDP for the listeners?
So our theory of change is this. So we have a challenge. So even when you talk about a business or a startup, etc., is you're always trying to solve a problem.
Yes.
So even from a government perspective, you are trying to solve a problem.
Interesting.
So our problem is poverty.
Okay.
Our problem is we have over 1 million young guys who are getting the labor market and don't have jobs. So how do we solve this? So what we are saying is we want to be able to decentralize resources for everyone to innovate. Give everyone, as many people, an opportunity to be able to play within the digital economy.
Yes.
So how
Which is
do
ever growing.
Which is ever growing. If you see the way, if you look at Nairobi Garage, I have BTC, they are in a certain side of town. So if you go to Jerry, if you go to Bangu, if you go to Ololo, wherever, we don't have this resources.
Yes.
I'm not saying that the business model of Nairobi Garage or whatever is not good.
Yeah.
It's just there is no commercial sense for them to go to certain spaces.
Yes.
So what we are saying as a county, we want to be able to bring those resources down.
Yeah.
So we'll give you space, we'll give you internet, so that the same opportunity someone is working at Nairobi Garage is the same opportunity someone from Jerry can be able to get.
Yes.
So bring in then different partners in terms of capacity, in terms of funding, to ensure that these guys have the same opportunity as anyone else in the
city
county.
of Nairobi. Yeah.
So that's what we want to do with the CIDP. So then it means that if it's capacity building, then we are partnering with people within the ecosystem provide market-driven capacity building.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are matching that to the reality. So it's not everyone that is in uni.
True.
So, this is not Silicon Valley. So you have credit card.
Yes, very good point.
So
Yes.
with very good education.
Yeah.
It's not even campus. Someone can drop from campus, but they have very solid education from way back. So, I mean, partnering with ICDL.
Yes.
So at guys who are going through TVETs or vocational training centers, someone who's dropped out from standard 6, standard 7, Form 3, Form 4, they can just be able to get in, do an ICDL package, get to know, interact with the computer, simple packages, graduate them to maybe Moringa, to do some basic programs, maybe around website, etc. I mean, then give them different value career paths around tech. So as simple as that, so that we can be able to build capacity.
Yes.
Looking at funding.
Yeah.
Even the way we look at funding is like we are always looking at institutional investors from Silicon Valley, Europe, US.
True.
Yes.
So this startup is struggling to fundraise because they are trying to solve a problem to please maybe an investor sitting somewhere in New York, etc.
Yeah.
The problem is he has limited resources. He has his own biases. So it's not like he's going to invest in everyone.
Yes.
And we can see, if you look at data, we see a leaning towards fintech.
Yeah.
Because that's where we get the highest ROI, payback period, etc.
Okay.
What happens to health? We have issues with health. We have issues in agri.
You said you had lined up in Kenyatta for 3 hours.
I mean,
That could have been solved with a simple appointment
Application, USSD scheduling
system.
Yeah.
so how do we even change that so that we ensure that as many people get funding or get the kind of support that they need.
Yeah.
So even for us, then the focus is what works for us. So we have a lot of corporates who have a lot of money, who are declaring profits here and there, but they're not innovating. If you look at the NSE 20
Share index.
So if you look at the kind of innovation that is there, is what we're calling incremental innovation.
Okay.
So it's changing Omo with Perform, changing rebranding. I mean, it's just, but
No hard problems
the
solved.
core value doesn't change. I mean, can we be able to allow startups or young people to be able to collaborate with these corporates to improve on their product offering? Let's say, for example, insurance. We still have penetration of less than 3% for insurance in Kenya.
Oh, really?
And the industry is stuck that we don't have enough education for people to take up insurance product. That's not the case. That's not a true
In
hypothesis.
fact, someone was joking and saying the biggest competitor to insurance in Africa for Christians is the Lord Jesus Christ.
He has insured them.
Yeah, hallelujah. I can't get a sickness.
No, but you see,
ideally,
our culture is that I know even if I get sick, I'll do a harambe.
Yes.
If a relative dies, it's a harambe.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's how we manage risk as a society. So, but the way insurance, the business model is structured is quite different in terms of if you were to take insurance in US, in Europe, they, maybe it's not as communal as Africa.
Yes.
So you can't take the same product and build it and put it in Africa and expect it to mean.
Also moving away from the usual insurance models, because even something as simple as I'm an Uber driver, I can insure my car, or I am doing I have a value chain where I distribute potatoes in Nairobi, but I can also insure that in case some of them go bad. So it's also diversifying from the usual healthcare,
Life insurance, education insurance.
Very
But
interesting.
And the same problem that we face in the innovation ecosystem across Africa, whereby everyone thinks innovation in the form of foreign innovation, right? Because if you come to Africa, you have to look at innovation at a different angle. And this actually has been witnessed by the foreign innovators who have come here with all the money, with all the, the education and everything that comes with that. And they could not crack simple problems.
Because they come with assumptions.
Exactly.
So the person who is on ground knows the unwritten rules.
True.
Like there was this startup that wanted to replace Mama
Kune.
Chapo.
Mama Mboga.
I mean, how would you replace Mama Chapo in Nairobi?
Because the model,
it's
so
very tough. So
unless you empower the Mama Chapo, it's irreplaceable.
And some people even buy that Chapo because they like the woman.
Yes.
They could buy
It's
the,
true.
They could
It's
make
true.
the Chapo anywhere, but they're like, Ubuntu. I've got to buy this,
to promote this particular.
yes,
So
yes.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The way we look at innovation, it has to make sense for us.
Yes.
let's not assume that someone sitting in Jerry, because they are jobless, it means that they can't think. It is just that lack of opportunities, lack of resources for them to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you always hear, I met some young guys from Kikuyu who are doing a neuro something robot.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the guys.
Yeah,
they were highlighted in some of the.
So we went to
interviews,
Citizen
yeah.
TV. Yeah. So we went to Citizen TV with them, and guys were shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys who don't have a college degree, but they're able to do such a thing.
Yeah.